everyone. Welcome to Jade Classes. I am Manideepa, your English educator. Today, I am going to explain a poem which is going to benefit the students of class 9 of West Bengal board. Which poem we are going to do? Today, we will know in detail, means line by line explanation of the poem Mild the Mist Upon the Hill. So be with me, be ready. So we will start. So the poem. What is the name of the poem? Mild the Mist Upon the Hill. Now, what does this title of the poem mean? Now, first and the foremost thing is that this title sets the mood of the poem. This word mild, okay, so mild the mist. So this word mild, it immediately establishes a very calm, okay, very gentle and very quiet atmosphere. Okay, so this word mild, it tells the reader that the storm had already passed, okay, and what is left back is peaceful, reflective environment. Then we have the word mist. The word mist is here used as a symbol. Okay, the mist here acts as a physical and psychological bridge. Okay, so what happens when there is mist? Mane kuasha jokhon hoy. Okay, so as mist blurs the horizon, jokhon kuasha hocche tokhon onek dur obdi tumi dekhte paccho na. Okay, so it is blurring the horizon, or it's blurring your vision. You cannot look, okay, far away. In the same way, the poet's present reality is getting blurred. Okay, kuasha hoye jacche, dhuashe hoye jacche. Why? Because she is drifting, she is moving into the past. Means here the poet is moving into the past, into her childhood. Okay, so this is the title of the poem. Now let us know something about the poet who has written this poem. This poem is written by Emily Jane Bronte. Okay, Emily Jane Bronte. Now, Emily Jane Bronte, she was born in 1880 and she passed away in 1848. She was a celebrated English poet as well as a novelist. And she is most famous for her only novel, the name of which is Wuthering Heights. Okay, so she is famous for her only novel. And what is the name of the novel? Wuthering Heights. Okay, now like her sisters Charlotte and Annie, Emily initially, so she published her work, okay, under a male name. What is the male name? Alice Bell. Why? Okay, why did she do so? So as to ensure that her work is taken seriously. Okay, because she lived in the Victorian era. Victorian era was male dominated society. So that's the reason why she had taken a male pen name. Okay, so that her work is being recognized. Okay. And Emily has a very deep bond with this natural world, okay, and that had influenced her poetry. Okay, so she frequently uses landscapes, then weather and changing seasons. Okay, why? To mirror, okay, or to reflect different human emotions. Okay, so here, okay, I have given a brief description of the title of the poem as well as the poet. Now I will start with the poem. Okay, line explanation means I am going to explain the poem line by line. So let's start with the first stanza. Mild the mist upon the hill. Mild the mist upon the hill. So it means that the poet sees a soft, gentle mist which is covering the hills, telling not of storms tomorrow. This mist shows that there will be no bad weather or storms tomorrow. Okay, what does it mean? It means that the future is safe. So there will be no more storm. Okay. No, the day has wept its fill. Here the poet compares the rain, okay, to tears. Okay, চোখের জলের সাথে rainকে compare করা হচ্ছে. So here the poet compares the rain to tears. She says, the day has cried enough. What does it mean? That heavy rain, okay, there had been heavy rain throughout the day. পুরো দিন প্রচণ্ড বৃষ্টি হয়েছে and now, okay, the rain had finally stopped. এখন বৃষ্টি বন্ধ হলো. Spent its store of a silent sorrow. The day had finished. Okay, so the day had finished showing all its hidden sadness through the rain. Okay, now everything seems to be very peaceful. Clear? So these are the lines of the first stanza. Now if we summarize it quickly, okay, then what do we see? Okay, what does the stanza 1 says? The poet looks outside and what she sees a soft, gentle mist which is covering the hills. Okay, this mild mist shows that the weather will be clear and there will be no more storms the next day. And the poet says, okay, that the days had wept its fill, means there had been heavy rain throughout the day and finally, okay, the rain had stopped. Okay, and just like a person feels relieved, okay, if you are very sad, যদি তোমার খুব দুঃখ হয়, চোখের জল ফেললে যেরকম খুব শান্তি লাগে, মনটা হালকা লাগে, ঠিক তেমনি, okay, just like a person relieved after crying out their hidden sorrows or hidden sadness, the nature, okay, which is around her is now quiet. Okay, it's peaceful and it's calm. Okay, storm chole gache and now, okay, the nature had become quiet, peaceful and calm. First stanza complete. Okay, now let's come to the second stanza. Oh, I am gone back to the days of youth. Now the poet, looking at the mist, okay, the poet suddenly remembers about her young days. Okay, looking at the mist, the poet suddenly remembers about her young days. I am a child once more. And the poet feels, okay, as if she has become a child once again. Underneath my father's sheltering roof. And in her mind, okay, she goes back inside her father's safe and protective house. And near the old hall door. And she imagines herself standing near the familiar old door, okay, of her childhood home. Okay, so these are the lines. I have explained it line by line, and now let's do a short summary of stanza 2. Okay, so what will be the short summary of stanza 2? Okay, stanza 2 says that the sight of the misty hills act like magic, and it takes the poet's mind back to her childhood days. Clear? So the mist, okay, means the sight of the misty hills acted like a magic, and it takes the poet's mind back to the childhood days. The memories are so real, okay, that she feels, okay, that she has become a child again, okay, and she completely forgot her adult worries, okay. In her mind, she returns to her father's house, okay. Father's house means it's always a safety, comfort, and protection zone. Okay, so in her mind, she returns back to her father's house, which represents safety, comfort, and protection. Okay, even she visualizes that she is standing, okay, right near the old front door of her childhood home, okay, where she used to feel very happy and secure. Okay, so now she is visualizing that she is standing, okay, means near the old front door. Clear? So let's move to stanza 3. I watch these cloudy evening fall. Now the poet returns back to the present time. Okay, so the poet returns back to the present time, and she says that she watches the cloudy evening slowly coming down. Okay, so what she sees, she watches the cloudy evening slowly coming down. After a day of rain, means the evening comes after it had rained throughout the day. Okay, so the evening has finally come after it had been raining throughout the day. Blue mist, sweet mist of a summer pale. She sees beautiful, sweet, blue summer mist, so which is covering the area, okay, just like a blanket. The horizon's mountain chain, and the mist completely covers the long chain of mountains, okay, on the distant horizon. Okay, so in a distance there was a chain of mountain, and the mist has completely covered up, okay, this long chain of mountains. Clear? So now let's summarize the third stanza. Okay, so what does the third stanza say? That the poet leaves her childhood memories and she comes back to the present moment. Okay, she watches the cloudy evening slowly, okay, approaching, okay, means after it had rained throughout the day. Clear? She looks at the distant long chain of mountains on the horizon, okay, and the mountains are completely covered up by the soft, beautiful blue summer mist that looks, okay, just like a protective blanket. Okay. Now stanza 4. The damp stands in the long green grass, means the wet water drop, okay, or you can also call it as dew. Okay, it stays on the tall green grass as thick as morning tears. Okay, these water drops look as thick as tears that fall in the morning. and a dreamy sense of a fragrance pass. Means a beautiful sweet smell rises, okay, from the wet earth and it moves through the air. That breath of other years, and this wonderful smell reminds the poet of her old days and her beautiful past memories. Okay, so now let's summarize stanza 4. So in stanza 4, overall, what does the poet say? The poet looks closely at the ground and she sees that the tall green grass is completely wet with rainwater. Okay, and she compares this thick water drops on the grass, okay, with morning tears. So which keeps the emotional mood alive. A very pleasant, okay, and dreamy fragrance, means a sweet smell. It rises from the wet earth and moves through the air. Okay, and this beautiful smell, it acts just like a time machine. Okay, it acts like this beautiful smell, it acts like a time machine. The smell strongly reminds the poet of the old happy days and brings back the memories of years, okay, those years so that have long ago passed away. Okay, so here I have completed line by line explanation as well as synopsis, okay, of each stanza. Hope you have understood the poem. If not, okay, then comment to me, okay, in the comment box. And yes, if you have understood the poem, then also comment me, okay, write that you have understood it, that Jade Classes is of some help to you. Okay, so we will meet very soon. And yes, if you think that Jade Classes is helping you in some way, then please don't forget to subscribe Jade Classes. I'm there to help you, to explain you all lessons one by one. But be with me, be with Jade Classes. For the time being, goodbye. See you again.